Hi everyone, welcome to our Data Science, Machine Learning and AI course, your first step towards mastering the skills to become an artificial intelligence AI expert. Our current module is all about Python fundamentals. Check out the full playlist in the description for everything we have covered so far and hit subscribe to stay updated with new lessons and future modules. Today we are going to learn about string manipulation in Python. It is also a very core concept that everyone must know and how to manipulate string data because we encounter a lot of string data, and there are some basic operations in strings like concatenation, repetition, finding the length, indexing or slicing, and some methods where you want to change the strings to uppercase or lowercase, you want to find some substrings, you want to replace the strings, and many more. And we are going to take a look at example for each one of them one by one. So let's dive into that. So very first thing that I would like us to do is how we can actually concatenate two strings very easily. So by just using a simple arithmetic operation like plus, we can actually concatenate two strings. So you can see here we have a string 1 as hello and we have a string 2 as word, and then in the result, which is an output, we are going to add actually three strings, not even two. We have string 1 plus we are adding a space, like here we have actually added a space, and then we have another string 2, and the result will be hello world with a space. And let's see the output. So this is a string concatenation example that we are going to run, and then we will also try to run some repetition examples actually. And repetition is very simple with this, as we have seen that here we have printed hello with a space and word. We have joined two strings together. If we want to repeat it, we can even simply add this multiplication operator, and how many times we want to repeat it, 3 times, 4 times, any time, and then we just need to actually run this cell after multiplying it. So this str1 is a string and it will be repeated 4 times because I have added value 4 here. So let's run it. See, the result is high. So sometimes you may need to repeat a word multiple times, so instead of writing them one by one or repeating them, you can just actually use this repetition expression. Then another example is to find the length. We have seen a common function of len that is actually available to in a lot of data structures, like we have it in lists, sets, tuples, dictionary, and even strings. That if you have a string str1 as Python, and if you want to get the length of this string, you just can run len. Len is a default function for a lot of data structures where you can just get the length of the data structure. So if I run len for this string, Python has 6 characters and it will give us a length of 6. That is how you can find the length of any string value that you have. Then indexing is also something. Indexing in the string is also starting from 0 from left to right. And now let's take an example of indexing as well. We have covered indexing in detail in lists, and if you don't know about indexing, then I will definitely suggest you to watch our previous videos where we have covered lists, and indexing is completely explained there. Here we are going to take an example of indexing with strings. So we have a string hello, and as I mentioned in a lot of videos that in Python indexing starts from 0 and it starts from left to right. So h here has an index value, a position value of 0, and o here, based on the number of characters starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, o will have an index value of 4 if you are counting from left to right. And if you are counting from right to left, if you want to look from o first, then you will count it as -1. So this o will have value -1, this l will have a value -2, and the next l will have value -3, and then e will have value -4, and h will have value -5. So this is how you will have to actually look at it. So here, in order to get the first character and the last character, what we have done, we have used index 0 to get h, and we have used index -1. If we don't know the length of the string and we want to get the last few values from the string or last few characters of the string, then using the negative indexing is helpful, because then you don't need to know the exact length of the string and you can just call it -1, -2, -3, any number of characters that you want to extract from the string. And now we will see here when we print the first character and last character. So see, the first character is printed as H, which is at 0 position, and O character is printed which is at -1 position from the end. Now these were actually a few basic operations for manipulation of strings, and strings have some other methods as well. But before going into that, we will also look into slicing. As I just mentioned here about the indexing, slicing is also something we covered with this, and let's look at one of the examples of slicing as well. So in slicing, what we do, we actually take a slice from a start index to an end index for a given string. So I'm going to write this example as my string equal hello world. This is a complete string, and what I'm doing here is that I'm just trying to actually get the string output to be reversed. This is what I have already mentioned in previous videos, but let me make it simple first. So what I will do here is now like this. So in this example, I just gave it index 7 as a starting index and index 12 as an ending index. Remember that the last index is not inclusive in the slice. So it started from 7 and it will go up to 11 only. It will not return the character for the last index. So remember, always remember this thing. Now let's take another example. If we want to actually reverse this string, we actually have done this example before, and that works like this. So if you just want to reverse the string as it is, you just need to write colon 2 times and then write -1, the negative index, and when you will run it, the string will be reversed. You can see the whole string has now been reversed with this method where you just specify 2 colons with -1. That is another way. And also you can get the last few strings as well. So if I want to get last 5 characters or last 6 characters, for example, from the string, okay, I want to get last 6 characters, I will write -6 onwards, and I will not specify anything. So what it will do, it will start counting from -6. Remember, here in this string, this sign of exclamation has an index of -1, D has -2, L has -3, R has -4, O has -5, and W has -6. So it will start from -6 and it will go to the end if I do not specify any ending index. So let's print this one. So now you have gotten word up to sign of exclamation. But if I specify -1 here, that go to the last character, then it will not include the last character, because I always have been telling that the stop index is not inclusive. So please remember this thing. Now looking at some of the string operations, like we have seen some basic operations, there are some methods on strings as well. Like you can convert it into uppercase, you can convert it into lowercase, and so many other things. So let's look at a few examples like that as well. So if we want to convert all the characters in the string into uppercase or lowercase, we just need to call the upper method or lower method. So we have str1 as a string, we use dot to call the method, and the method name is upper, and then we close these parentheses, and it will return us a string with all capital letters. And the same goes for a string with all lower letters if we actually use a lower method. Now if I print this one, so you see, if you just call the string dot upper, then it will convert this complete string into a capital letter string. Otherwise, if you call the lower method, it will convert it into a lower character string. So you can see both outputs here. So sometimes you may need to convert everything to lowercase or uppercase, so these are actually helpful. And then looking at some other examples, there can be sometimes you can have extra white spacing around your strings and you just want to get rid of that. So there can be another example for that as well, to remove the white spacing. It is called strip. Strip is very helpful. So here we have intentionally added some white space in the beginning and ending of the string, and if we want to get rid of this white space programmatically, we can just call strip method on the string. So we say str1 string dot strip. What it will do, it will just remove all the white space, and you can store this output into another string as well. Right now I'm just printing it, but you can also store it into another string and then use it in your code as well. Similarly, if you want to replace some part of the code, you can also do that. Replacing substrings, that's also very nice thing about strings. Sometimes you are receiving some input string and you want to replace it. For example, we have this hello world and we want to replace some part of this word like word to Python, and I will just call the replace method. Similarly, I have been calling the upper method, lower method and strip method, and it requires two arguments actually. First, it will require the substring you want to replace. So I want to replace word, so I need to specify that, and then the second argument after the comma to this function is you want to replace it with what value. So you want to replace word with a value Python, so you want to specify both of them. And now if we run it, see, this word is now replaced with word Python. So in order to replace any substring, any part of the string inside this string, you just need to specify the string you want to replace and specify the new string that you want to replace it with here as a second argument, and run it, and this will actually replace it. Again, you can actually save this result into a new string value. Now, one last thing that I would like us to go through is split. Split is a very important method that I wanted to cover, and if we actually go into the split method, sometimes you want to split a string into an other object like lists, and maybe you know that the string contains list of fruits, and you want to separate it by a comma into a list. So we have a string here that has apple comma banana comma cherry, and we want to convert it into a list. So what we can do, we can separate and split this string using comma. So the method is that you call the string, then you specify dot with split method, and then in the split method you specify the value that you want to use to split the string. So wherever it sees a comma, it will split it into a separate value, separate element of the list, and the final result that we will get will be a list with 3 elements: apple, banana and cherry. Let's run this one. You can see now it has apple, banana and cherry. And for example, if we didn't have the banana comma here and we have a space here, for example, and then we have another space here as well, what we will do, we will remove this comma from here and add a space here, and now we run the same thing again. See, so whatever character you want to use to replace it, split it, you just want to specify that one here and it will actually split it. Okay, and another thing that I can just quickly cover is the find method. Find method is helpful if you want to look for something inside the string. For example, we have an example here. We have string hello world, and what we want to do, we want to find word position in the string. So we want to know where exactly the word substring is present or is starting from in the string. So let's run this one. Now what it has given us, 7. So when it looked for a specific substring word inside this string, so it has found it at starting from position 7. So it can just give us an idea that what is the starting position of this given substring inside the string. So these are some of the useful methods that you may need to use during some string manipulation, working with different kinds of codes, and you will see it being used in different Git repositories as well. So that was all about the string manipulation that I wanted to cover. There is still a lot, but as we are progressing and practicing, we can be learning more and more. And in the next video, I'm going to discuss about the file handling in Python. That is a very nice concept and everybody must know, whoever is working in the field of data science and Python. So please watch the next video, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, have a good day.